Hello everyone, welcome back to No More Future. Yeah, for new or not, subscribe, like, comment, share to friends and loved ones. You can check this game out on itch.io. Correct me. Yeah. I've been like doubting myself every time, like how do I pronounce some of these words? And you know what? Screw it. Comment down below if I'm wrong. If I'm not, well, yeah. Thank you. Going back to the game. Last we left, oh, Mary was not. I don't know. I can't remember the thing. They were like arguing. Yes, here we go. Mary was not fully telling Isaac here on our left about something. Okay, she's the scenario. Oh, the cleanup. Yeah. Okay, and indeed, the rapid shift in her facial expression admits her deception even before her words can. Are we actually recording? Somebody check it. All right, we are. Double checking. I did tell for the OGs out there. I don't know if you can remember or not. I think I just told you once or something, which has happened in Monster Girl Ida, where I immediately I thought I recorded. I clicked start recording, what I thought I did, and then I yapped for like 30 minutes. Checked the recording. Oh, I didn't click it. Okay, wow. You know, it kind of defeats the purpose of first time playing, first time going reacting to things. You know. I did know it off the top of my head. I knew it the moment I laid eyes on that chassis or chases. Was it chases? Somebody correct me down below. I knew because it's one of the ones that were stolen from us last week. Oh, for the briefest of moments, it's as if the whole world stopped moving on its axis. Silence permeates the air, and not a thought crosses either of your minds. Well, I guess it's like, case solved, I guess. In a half-hearted manner. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You muttered to yourself, once more clueless as to what to think. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But you said it wasn't a problem. You said only Pandora could make sense. Yeah. And that was what happened. They were the ones who made it. Somebody stole it. And we can. At least we should. Her voice begins to oh, wait a minute. No, they only stole the materials to make a synthetic. Huh. A shadow organization, a splinter group perhaps? Her voice begins to falter as her confidence dwindles away, replaced by countless doubts and even more fears. Indeed, this is worse than even you thought. It's a detail you barely acknowledged during your confrontation earlier, but now strikes you as of the utmost importance. If Pandora didn't create that monster, who did and how? Honestly, I'm at a loss for words. How would you explain what's happening right now? The woman asked, mostly to herself, though it's not long before you hazard a guess yourself. Well, maybe it was a replica then, an imitation. Remember when we talked about AIs using synthetic-like bodies before? This could be one such case. It could, but as much as I'd like that to be the case, it's just not likely. I'm sure you realize this as well. You have interacted with both C grades and B grades in the past, after all. You know what they are like, and that Max was anything but. And the only A grade on the planet is sealed away in some facility or the other. Yeah. So, highly dubious. It was certainly worth a shot, but it just is certainly miss. While they're somewhat comparable on the surface, Max's sadism and violent tendencies felt a lot more sincere and coherent than whatever nonsense Arthur was on about. For those who don't know or don't remember, Arthur was the AI companion we had at the beginning of the game. Pretty much like me, it was like yapping and shit. And it was kinda buggy. Or I guess not, you just couldn't turn off the yapping feature. Meanwhile, Mary moves on to more sensible, if worrisome, explanations. Could there have been a leak, a double agent on the team perhaps? No, that's ridiculous. I vet every single person I work with. I trust them. At the very least, I trust someone would have realized if their colleague was giving us the finger. Ah! Mary shouts aloud as she stomps her foot on the ground once again. Though she appeared on the verge of tears at one point, she has since mustered her remaining resolve and wears it proudly in her eyes. This is worthless. We're not learning anything here. We'll figure this out sooner or later. Until then, we should do... Oh wait, that's Isaac. Do what? You question her just as loud as you spoke just now. You can't possibly drop this matter here. Are you serious? A murder synthetic is on the loose, unaccounted for, and we don't even know where he came from. This is not a topic you leave for later. You don't get to weasel your way out of this like you do everything. Don't do that to your creator, man, to your mother. Weird. Yeah, physically, I guess. Metallurgy, inventor. You shout your resentments toward the feline rising to the surface like foam in a stormy sea. Then tell me, just what am I supposed to do? Yeah, I was about to say, I'm thinking, what can she do? Call the cops? Oh yeah, we fucked up. That's... She asked, seemingly sincere. I don't know, figured it out now. Before that guy comes back. You whisper under your breath, only now realizing how much that thought scares you. It's true that you survived your brush with death today, but it could have just as easily gone the other way, and nothing would have been able to bring you back this time. If you encounter that Max again or another synthetic who wish you harm, would you be so lucky, or would you fall like the leaf in the wind you are? I'm scared. You mutter to yourself as your vision grows teary. I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know what to think. Don't know what to do. I just want to live my life in peace. And it almost cost me what little life I have left. And not just me. Other people's too. You turn to face the woman, a half-hearted scowl in your visor. And then you tell me to let you handle things, but you're just as clueless as I am. You say everything's fine, but it's not. That's just how parents are, right? Even though things aren't fine, you gotta say everything's fine. Everything's falling apart. Yeah, there we go. Jasper's against me, the owners are against me, the FBI's against me, and now even those guys are against me. You raise your hands in exasperation, not knowing what else to call them. Feels like the whole world's against me some days. Even your family, even your friends, even Pandora, even Natalie. Ooh. Remember, Isaac, even when the whole world abandons you, remember this, and especially you, viewers, I'm here. Even Mary. No, I don't think. Which is precisely why I can't let you brave all this alone. The scientist says, slowly picking apart with the deafening silence in the van. I get it. Alright, I get it. It's rough. Believe me, I know. It's not just what happened today that broke you, is it? You've been feeling like this for a while now. The dreams you carry with you, the fears, the responsibilities hanging on your shoulders. You can feel them, can't you? You look at the world around you and see how big and scary it is, and wonder, how am I supposed to handle all this? Bars, Mary, bars, yeah. Life can get a bit overwhelming, I'll be honest. Because usually there's a lot of like trials and of tomorrow. You know, like, oh, what am I gonna do now? Alright, after school, after graduating, I got a job, what's next? What do I do? What do I do next? And all of those things comes with, you know, responsibilities. Some responsibilities are bigger or are brushed without your consent. Like, hey, you have to do this. And sometimes it feels a bit too heavy. I don't know, maybe that's just me. She asked aloud, but it could have just as easily been you saying that now. As always, Mary knows exactly how you feel. Better than you do yourself. And the truth is, you can't. No one can. Not even I. But that's why we're not alone in this world. Why we're all sharing this big hunk of rock together. So we can cover each other and make this scary world less scary. If everybody was like Mary, wow, the place would have been somewhat quirkier. And maybe a bit more optimistic. I got a whole company behind me. Thousands of colleagues who have my back. People I trust with my own life, and you. She takes a few steps forward until she's practically hovering above you. Until you can see your beaming eyes just as clear as you would the sun. You have me. You have all of us. We're here for you, Isaac. We're ready to help you just as much as you help us. We'll figure a way out of this. All of this. Faced with such overwhelming enthusiasm, you end up cracking a faint smile yourself, if only out of respect for the woman's unwavering confidence even now. And you're right, I am hand-waving a lot of things away, and it does feel like a cheap cop-out. But I don't have time to panic. I don't have the patience for it either. My team relies on me and so do you. The last thing anyone wants is for me to waste time crying over problems I can't solve. Amen, sister. Amen. So let's start gathering info. Oh my god, it's like a thesis, you know. It's like a mini research. Shall we? Starting with every facility that houses transition equipment and every scientist and technician who worked on one. I'll have tabs on everything in only no time. I can get this started right away while you finish preparing over there. And in the meantime, we can start thinking of more ways to get on top of the situation. Good enough for you? What a cheeky bugger, ain't she, huh? Yeah, that's a start. I'm sorry. I guess I'm the one who panicked. I didn't mean to shout at you like that. It's quite alright. I know I failed you in many regards. You have a right to be upset about that. Maybe, but still. Your digital lips curl into a bittersweet smile, taking even the woman aback for a moment. At least you're trying. Under the weight of her honesty and forgiveness, Mary's lips bend into a genuine smile. Not one born of self-assurance, but rather thankfulness and guilt. I'm really sorry. I wish I could spend more time with you these days, instead of leaving you to fend up for yourself like that. I'll be honest. I'll be completely honest about that. You don't deserve to feel helpless and abandoned, okay? Not by me, not by anyone. It's fine. You have a job and a commitment. I'm just a small part of it all. Small, maybe, but not unimportant, not in the least. So tell you what, why don't we spend some time together for a change, like you used to when you first came to? Doesn't need to be anything fancy, and I bet you've had enough of boring lectures and business meetings by now. We can keep it casual for a change. No Pandora, no FBI, no whatever that was. Just two friends hanging out for dinner. It's like a mother and her child, man. It's crazy. I'd love that. It'd mean a lot to me. Are you certain this is what you want to do, though? What happened today is pretty important, to say the least. Shouldn't you be focusing your attention on that instead? Oh, trust me, I'll have my hands full with that before I know it. But there's no reason for me to get involved right away. I can let my colleagues lay the groundwork while I focus on you. Your mental well-being is just as essential as anything else. If I can't even help one person, how am I supposed to help everyone? I suppose that makes sense. You concede, unable to muster any other answer before her insistence. Awesome. Your treat, right? Been a while since I've been to your place anyway. Last time was a bit hectic, but I'm sure tonight will be different. Wait, my place? Why my place? Wouldn't it be better to go to a restaurant or a movie theater or any other kind of place? Why, aren't you a player? Haven't you already got similar things scheduled with Natalie and Jasper? As nice as those options sound, I'd rather we keep it quiet for tonight. I don't know about you, but it's been a hell of a rough day for me, even before everything went down south. Yeah, I know what you mean. Odd jokes aside, you can see where Mary's coming from with her suggestion. Small and uninteresting though it may be, your apartment is probably as safe a place as it gets right now. You're already planning on heading home before Apollo went missing. Anyway, if anything, bringing home a friend with you is all the more incentive to head there right away. After you're done getting patched up at least. Which might take a fair bit longer than expected given how much you moved around while you were ranting earlier. Alright then, I'll arrange for the car's AI to drive us to your place. We can wait nearby until you're done resting, if that's good with you. Sounds as good as a plan as any. Though before we head there... Mary asks as you avert your eyes, more than a little embarrassed. Could you help me look for my groceries while we're heading there? I think I dropped them somewhere while looking for my friend earlier. Really now? Your groceries? Yeah, I kinda need them for tonight's dinner and all. The woman massages her temples with her fingers, a complicit grin half hidden beneath her hands. You know, it'd be faster just go buy some new ones. So I was gonna say, I was like, might as well just buy and spend even more money? Come on, man. I was about to say, Isaac, my man, your groceries are most like. No, I get it. This man is kind in a cruel world, and that's tough. The woman laughs at your unexpected quip, though you make sure to follow up with a more serious explanation right after. Sorry. I don't know. It just feels kind of embarrassing to know I have a full bag of food out there somewhere. If we don't find it right away, we can go do another grocery run real quick. But since I'm gonna be stuck to this chair for a while anyway, might as well. Alright then, kid. I'll see what I can do. The woman agrees without a fight, much to her relief. You make sure to give her the details of her last known address before you rush after Apollo, then let her head to the front of the vehicle to impart her commands to the AI. Her departure leaves the room quieter than ever, save for all the fixing robot, broken body indeed. It's as if she took most of the nearby callers along with her as well. Now that you have a moment to yourself, all drones aside, you finally have a chance to realize just how clear your mind is compared to half an hour earlier. It's far from perfect, mind you, and there are still plenty of questions and concerns left to address. But with Mary around for once, you no longer have to tackle them alone. Jeez. How did she even do it? I was this close to losing my mind just now, and she somehow pulled me out of the gutter and right into my feet. As Al Pacino once said, or what we call the Godfather, just when I was about to get out, they pulled me right back in. Gabagool. Talk about the Mirakawaka. For once, your stomach dares not argue upon you using that word. There's just no other way to describe your friend after everything she did for you thus far. You're truly happy to have met her, despite everything that happened since. And you're glad you finally have a chance to talk to her face to face after more than a week apart. With a clear head on your shoulders and no one else getting in the way, perhaps today's the day you finally get to know the scientist a little better at last. A one-on-one date with Mother Mary, huh? Let it be. The door to your apartment opens slowly and just as quietly, as if afraid that the sound could wake up the dead. You hesitate to step inside, your groceries swinging widely under your arm, cautious of any hidden threats lurking just beyond the furniture. Deep down, you know this is a bit of an overreaction. Lead is panicking that needn't be there. But after everything you went through today, you'd rather just not take that risk. Even if it means being paranoid within the confines of your own home. This place is cozy, I keep saying that. Once you've made sure your abode is just as you left it, you exhale a loud sigh of relief. Another day where you get to return home in one piece. You never thought you'd feel so reassured from such a simple thought. Even while you were human and your body was frailer than ever, you always took your security for granted and never once questioned how blessed you were for making it through each day. It took you becoming synthetic to finally learn. Hello? Are you done admiring the floor over there? I like her design still. She got that drip, man. Mary interrupts your endless musings with a knowing grin, letting her lean figure linger in the doorway for as long as she needs to steal your attention. Now then, if my shining knight's done securing his kingdom, may I come in? Yeah, of course. How does she know this? She's like in his mind. Are we not sure you're not a robot as well? Or you have like a psychic link with Isaac? You are the inventor. Yeah, of course, make yourself at home. The woman clearly has no need of your permission, considering she's the one who bought the apartment for you in the first place. Nonetheless, she only steps inside once you give her the all clear, like any other guest. Though she's been here before, for some reason, the thought of your maker stepping inside your home tonight feels rather embarrassing. In a way. Well, what's the matter? You've been staring at me for a while now. She asks in her usual faux flirty way as she realizes you're spacing out again. Oh, nothing. I was just taking in your new clothes is all. I didn't have a chance to comment on them earlier, but I like them. Ah, I see. Why, thank you. Last time I visited, I couldn't help but feel a little cold. I never spent much time up in the mountains, so I was somewhat unprepared. Well, it is December now. It's only bound to get colder from here. You wouldn't be surprised if it started snowing soon either. Though with how finicky the weather gets around these parts, it could go either way. It's like the Philippines, but here there's no winter. It's more like we call it the cold winds, amihan. But when it's December or nearing December. But then again, it's still a tropical country in the Philippines. It could go either way. As I said, it could be sunny, it could be rainy, it could just be perfect. A little bit sunny, but a little bit windy, chilly weather or wind. Hence why I thought the change of clothes might be in order. I figured I might be passing by again one of these days, so I had Natalie help me find an outfit for the occasion. How do I look? Great! Stunning, even. It really suits you. The words leave your lips faster than you can think them. A genuine smile forming on your visors to do, but of course. Stunning, huh? Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Honestly, I had you pegged as the shy type when I first met you. Who knew you'd turn out to be such a lady killer? Leave it to Mayor to make things awkward for you. He's gonna be like, yo, you're my creator. I can't do that. Lady killer? I'm literally just complimenting you. And that's a very tough skill to master, You'd be surprised how often people fumble over themselves trying to impress their... I'm not trying to impress anyone. You're like 3 times my age. You don't say that to a woman, my man. Even they're old. Don't say that. And like way more than that, if you only consider the time I've been a synthetic. Wow, way to bring down the mood, kid. Way to bring down the mood. Though the woman has every right to be angry, given how impolite it is to remind a lady of her age, you can tell she's only playing around with you. Which is quite impressive given you're still trying to recover from the shock from earlier. Having overcome the initial embarrassing icebreaker, Mary lets her gaze wander through the room, inspecting it from top to bottom like an art gallery. Been a while since I've last been here, indeed. I didn't recall this room being so pleasant to the eye. Then again, that might be because I hardly had a moment to enjoy it, what with everything that went down that day. Yeah, things seem to go down pretty often these days. Way too often. The perks of being a synthetic, I suppose. An awkward silence follows for a moment, only for Mary to try and ignore it. Anyway, I gotta say, I love what you did to this place. It looks wonderful. Wonderbar, Isaac. Oh, thanks. Glad you liked it. Although I don't think I can really take credit for this. Not when it was your team that ordered all the furniture for me and Bradbury was the one who set it all up. Upon hearing your words, Mary shakes her head in seeming disappointment, a defeated look in her eyes. Right, of course. How could I forget? She mumbles to herself as she flops on top of her sofa, her gaze aimed squarely at the ceiling. Did I say something wrong? No, well, maybe, I don't know. It's not just you, The woman sighs as she turns to face you. Just realizing I'm not really doing a good job improving your mood. Icebreakers really aren't my forte. So that's it. You whispered to yourself, not denying that assertion in the least. Even so, it's my fault if things aren't working. I really should try and be over what happened already. Or at least pretend to be over it. You don't need to pretend, not to me. Yeah. She knows everything, buddy. She literally created that bod you have. And before that, she researched the shit out of you when you were still a human with a Y. Sandra's barking. Excuse me. Welcome back to me, actually. She speaks, her gaze and tone of voice having hardened somewhat, almost as if she were chastising you. Though, of course, it only lasts a moment. Tell you what, why don't we just get the evening underway? So is this like some kind of date? What is this? I believe the best way to get past all the sadness and moping is to actually do it. I guess. Sounds good to me. What did you have in mind, creator? Mary makes as if to think it over, but you can tell she's already got a few ideas in her head. How about some good food for a change? If you don't mind, we could get started on dinner a little early. Nobody thinks better on an empty stomach, and I'm actually kind of curious to see how you behave behind the stove. Now that's something you can get behind. Or maybe cooking for Mary is just what you need to stop thinking about all that nasty stuff from earlier. At least you hope things will actually be that simple. Well, we certainly have a lot of choices. I bought a few boxes of pasta, condiments, veggies, some chicken, some chicken breasts, a little bread. It's a great deal of ingredients for sure, but you find your creativity a bit lacking at the moment. You aren't well versed in cooking for guests, and the last thing you want is to make something. I see. The scientist mumbles to herself as she snatches the bags from under your arms and begins perusing them at her leisure. Cheese, eggs, what looks like snacks, and ooh, ground pork. You can make a lot with ground pork. She exclaims as she pulls a handful of boxes of it from out of your bags, earning a nervous chuckle out of you. Yeah, I was planning on making meatballs with those sometime soon. Got inspired by a friend of mine, actually. But now that I think about it, we could also make some nice burgers with those. It's a bit of an obvious suggestion that much you know already. Damn, she's like in fucking eyes. I don't know how she does it, man. She immediately picked up that, oh, this guy is getting nervous, he's not prepared, and he's gonna overthink things again. So, might as well help him out. Burgers, huh? Sounds good to me. Now I'm hungry. Or I'm thinking about what would this burger taste like? Really? Are you sure? Yeah, I don't see why not. Been a while since I last had them anyway. I trust you already know the recipe. She whispers at you in mocking tone, earning a nervous chuckle out of you. Yeah, don't worry, I'll take it from here. You just relax and make yourself at home. Oh, you didn't tell me twice. You have fun in there too, alright? Of course. Be right back. An interesting chapter. A chapter with our curator. After gathering the ingredients the feline carelessly displays in her search, you swiftly take off to the kitchen, leaving your guests alone in the living room. You're not as accustomed to this room as the rest of her apartment, but moving around isn't much of an issue. After stacking the food you brought into her fridge, minus what's required for her dinner, you get to work right away. Now he's gonna actually cook. First, you start by rounding up the ground pork and seasoning it to perfection, using just the right amount of salt, pepper, and why not put some soy sauce in there? You turn to face Mary right away. Yup, she's literally his mother, man. More startled by her outlandish proposal than by her sudden appearance. Soy sauce? I mean, I think I bought some earlier, but do you usually season your burgers with soy sauce after salting them? Nope. Can't say I've ever tried that before. I see. You can't help but mumble to yourself, astonished. The feline suggestion is so unusual and concerning that you almost don't notice her messing around the kitchen, opening every drawer she can find and fiddling with the contents therein. Ooh, what's this? Ground cayenne peppers. But she is a scientist at heart. And they are usually people like that are incredibly curious about things and stuff and knickknacks and whatever. Yeah, I bought some a while ago to put in a soup or something. Figured it wouldn't be so bad now that I'm a synthetic and throw them in the mix. The woman makes it as if to dump the whole container into your meat, but you stop her at the last moment. Are you nuts? Do you even know how much these things sting? I've heard the stories, yeah. I just like to experiment is all. Scientists do be like that, man. This is why some of them die. They test things out. They're like, yup. Now we know this is not good and never do this again. It's over. They do say curiosity killed the cat, and in rare moments, satisfaction can bring it back. Experiment what? You're gonna throw some chocolate in that mixture next? Or vodka and garlic chips? You ask, the tone of her voice rapidly changing from outrage to pure fear. You know, now that you mention it, she whispers, a devious grin already forming around underneath her lips. This explains a lot, actually. Far more than you wanted to explain, truth be told. Though you can't dwell on the thought for long as the feline's already on her way to make your meal together even more improbable. Oh, hold on. 5 leaves of sage. Are you trying to make a vegan burger or something? I just like the flavors all. It's no biggie. Just ditty. At least mince them a little. And what are you doing with that now? Just trying out something. Jeez, I'm seeing a video once. Apparently if you stuff the patty with cheese, it comes out super juicy. You do that with American cheese, not blue cheese. That one's gonna melt right out of the burger. Reining in Mary is a difficult endeavor as it is pointless. The woman prances around her kitchen like an actual kitten. Well, that's kind of cute because technically, yeah, she is a feline, like in line with that family. I forgot the term, but familia, I guess. I just use a different word. It's the same fucking thing. Crafting chaos everywhere she goes. Going back to the game, I'm sorry. As the realization that you've completely lost control of the situation settles in, you can only sigh in utter defeat. Is this your way of trying to get me to stop worrying about my health? By making me worry about yours? Aw, the son is now a bit concerned for his mother. You ask in the midst of Mary's work, prompting her to stop for just a moment in order to address you. Well, I won't deny the thought is there. Are you serious? This could kill you. At least I don't have to worry about food poisoning, I think. You're not sure you've reached that level of inedibility yet, but you know a bad idea when you see it in practice. Unlike Mary, it seems. Oh, come on. Who in the world did you learn to be so stingy in the kitchen from? Didn't your parents teach you to be at least somewhat curious of new things? Well, the scientist's query gives you a bit of oh no. Here we go again. He's gonna overthink. His past, I'd say troubles, not exactly. Could be a little bit of trauma. The scientist's query gives you a bit of pause, so out of left field it is. You find yourself pondering over the answer for far longer than you thought you'd be. No, not particularly, no. I mean, it's not like they didn't push me to study or to learn more about the world. Far from it. They just didn't want me to be reckless, I guess. My dad used to say that it's never what you know that kills you, it's what you don't. That as long as you know how something works, as long as you know the dangers, well then you have nothing to fear. But fear itself. You hesitate for but a moment while your gaze veers ever downward from the sudden weight of old memories. I guess he was wrong in the end. He died of cancer while I was in middle school. A disease we've known about for centuries yet still can't do anything about. The gloomy mood begins to spread towards the feline side of the room. Now, surprisingly, she doesn't immediately attempt to push. This reminds me of a friend of mine who was in a really bad place, bad mind set of in mind, headspace and whatnot because of situation scenarios in which in my culture it's called hugod. You're pulling something out. You're trying to tell something, a lesson, but in doing so, it tells you a bit about yourself, and it's not a happy story, as I would say. It brings down the mood, and then I gotta be like, I've been both actually. I've been like Mary, who like I gotta pull this fucking mood here. We gotta move on, get this shit out of here. You know, I didn't say it like that, but you know, like. Oh well, let's explore a little bit of the topic and then try to slowly veer off from the topic. The gloomy mood begins to spread towards the feline side of the room, though surprisingly she doesn't immediately attempt to push it back. I'm sorry to hear that, she whispers, still trying to respect her feelings, no doubt familiar with the kind of sorrow you feel to this day. It's alright, it was forever ago. We've moved on, or at least we tried. We almost made it too, until, well, you know what. The woman stands near the stove in silence, waiting until you're finished to speak her mind. I don't think you ever really moved on from stuff like that. It's the kind of baggage you never... Exactly. It's the kind of baggage that you can't really just put down. It's always there. You just get better at handling it, managing it. And hopefully to the point where it feels like it's not there, but it's still there. Just a little bit. For better or worse, exactly. But for as much pain as it causes and how long it haunts us, I think it's a good thing. In the end, important too. It's a reminder that our loved ones really did exist, that their lives mattered and still do. And as such, so must ours. Who wrote this? That's poetry right there. Now it's your turn to listen, humbled by the feline's wisdom as your vision grows slightly teary from all the emotions surging through you. Noticing the somber look in your eyes, Mary's quick to resume from where she left off. Regardless, I really am sorry to hear about your dad. You must have loved him a great deal. She makes as if to say something, but she stops at the last moment and ponders on it some more. You're not sure what's going on in that head of hers as of this moment, but soon enough she interrupts the silence once again. If I may ask, what was his name? She inquires, confusing you for the briefest of moments. You have expected her to try and veer away from this conversation, considering her intent, not try and indulge in it even further. No, this is actually how... Gotta talk about it. And then slowly... Keep on talking about it, keep on talking about it, and then you then slowly understand or get something from it. Maybe you won't understand anything, but by the end of it, like, you get a little bit more comfortable. Even so, you see no reason not to be honest with her. Abraham. Abraham Asimov. I see. What an interesting last name, Asimov. Another reference to Asimov's, like, what was it, principle, whatever, where he did the 3 fucking rules thing in his book, where a robot can't do this and do that and do this and that. The woman mumbles, half lost in thought. I think I'm wrong, everyone. If comment down below once again if I'm wrong about that. Tell me about him. What was he like? Also, Abraham. That's a, if we're going by religious standard, that's a powerful name. Again, the question takes you by surprise, but then you find the words leaving your mouth faster than you can think them. Kind, respectful, present. He worked an office job in some company or the other, but when he was home, he was with me all the time. Aww. We talked pretty often and played and did sports, and on Sundays, he tried to teach me a little about his faith. His faith? Yeah, my parents were devout Christians. They taught me all about it and never to make me one, but I guess it never stuck. We're talking about Christians, right? We're not talking about some kind of like, I'm Catholic, it's like under that. The umbrella term Christian. This is OG, I guess. Well, if it was like a Jehovah's Witness, that would be a bit of a iffy thing, you know. I'm okay with most religions, but sometimes, you know, when you say no, we gotta back the fuck off. Free will, baby, you know. Going back to the game, at least that wasn't all they did. Dad taught me how to study efficiently, how to dress well, how to cook. We glanced for a moment at the devilish concoction Mary left to marinate on the table and shudder. Correctly, I mean. Ignorant of the word in your eyes, Mary ponders on the words with an absent look of her own. Christians. Now there is a word you don't hear every day. And you're saying both your parents were? Believers? Believers. Told and everybody got a believer. Pain. Yeah, very. My dad's been one his whole life, and I think my mom just kind of married into it, I guess. Yeah, I do be like that. Or maybe you're just misremembering is all, though it seems your friend doesn't mind the imprecisions in your recollecting. Either way. Interesting. Not at all what I expected. Usually the only religion you hear people preach about is hard work. That's what my parents indoctrinated me with anyway. Isn't that a good thing? It is, but it depends on how you approach hard work. Some people really want you to work forever. Like, every second you should be doing something. That's hard work for them. The more they see you try to give yourself time, that's not hard work, that you're lazing around. Which is a very thin line, by the way, when you think about it. To an extent, up until it turns into zealotry. You know, that moment when studying becomes less about learning and proving yourself and more about proving something. Yeah. When it starts to become not about you, but more about someone else. Some people can take that as a motivational thing. Some people can take it like Mary right here. So I can't really hate on either or be not as understanding as both perspectives can give. And more about proving something. When money and prestige become goals in and of themselves and not means to an end. I think I get what you mean. I had quite a few teachers like that growing up. Couple relatives too, and I'd be lying if I said my parents didn't behave like that as well from time to time. But overall, I think they were better than that. They really cared about the things I was learning and the ways I was growing. They stressed the importance of being a good person above being a good student. You can't help but notice a faint look of regret in the woman's eyes as she hears your tale, no doubt thinking back to her own upbringing. This is juicy content. A little bit of backstory with Mary, huh? And then a glimmer of something more, which disappears faster than you've noticed it. Seems like, you know what? You were taught well. Not that I'm surprised, of course. And what about your mother, if I may ask? What was she like? From your dad to your mom. Mary's awfully inquisitive tonight, it seems. Yeah. Your new mother needs to know about your old life, you know. Your life, not old life, your life, about you. Not that you mind at this point, of course. Well, mom was really protective, I guess. Tried to make sure nothing was ever wrong with me. She made sure I was always on top of my studies and said my prayers before going to bed. She involved herself in every school I studied in until college and spoke often to my teachers to make sure I wasn't being bullied or anything. Involved herself? You mean as a teacher? No. I mean as a parent. You know, or organizing after school activities with the faculty, helping out in organizing events, that kind of stuff. Yada yada. Oh, I see. And what did she do for a job? The feline ass surprisingly invested in such. I'm curious as well. Spit it out, Isaac. Spit it out, man. Spit your game. Unfortunately, your answer is nowhere near as interesting as she expected to be. I think she didn't have one actually. Didn't have one? That's a plot twist for me. Really? Oh. She replies, genuinely taken aback, prompting a swift response out of you. It's not that crazy, is it? I mean, stay-at-home moms and dads are definitely a thing. Not sure how common they are myself, but I'm not saying they aren't. I know they're a thing. It's just a little unusual for me is all. Both my parents were always at work when I was younger, so I'm not very accustomed to this kind of lifestyle, you know? You're not sure how to interpret this response from the feline, but you find your gaze sharpening somewhat nonetheless. She wasn't special, she made herself special. Let's go with that. Well, I assure you, my mom was a hard worker herself, maybe even more than my dad. When she wasn't helping out in my school, she was keeping the house squeaky clean. And whenever I had trouble with my studies, she took time out of her day to help out. Whatever I wanted to do, she was the first to step in and help guide me through it. I honestly don't know where I'd even be without her. Aww. And without Mary, eh? You pause for a moment as the pleasant memories begin to sour once again. We had our disagreements, of course. There were times when her presence felt pretty overbearing, to say the least. Didn't help how strict she was at home either. She had some kind of grudge against technology and tried to keep me away from smartphones and computers for as long as she could. Parents, am I right? She even tried to get me to stop seeing a friend of mine once she found out I was playing video games at his place. Now that was an argument for the ages. Good grief! Yeah, it does it. Am I right, Isaac-kun? The scientist remarks, genuinely appalled. I figured you'd had a rough upbringing, but this wasn't rough. At least, I wouldn't call it rough. Just family gets complicated, is what it is. You counter not wanting your friend to get the wrong impression. I'm not gonna claim it was all sunshine and rainbows, you know, sunshine and lollipops and but it was my home. It was home. And for all their quirks and all their problems and issues and yada yada yada, I love my parents. I still love my parents. I mean, I wouldn't be trying so hard to go back to my life if I didn't, would I? You mumbled with an encouraging smile, much to Mary's unspoken relief. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Sorry about that, by the way. I didn't mean to get so invested in our conversation. I'm gonna end this video right here, keeping it below 45, up above 4, I don't know, just somewhere 40 minutes-ish. Thank you for sticking by, everyone. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Yeah. Good luck on whatever you're doing. I'll pray for you, and hopefully you get a good night's rest. Subscribe, like, comment, share to friends and loved ones. Bye-bye.